me see this. So I just wasted an hour in the Alexandria dungeon. I say wasted because I spent most of that time wiping with my NPC party on the first boss. Okay, what the hell? An hour with NPCs. It's not that hard going through trust. Just follow the NPCs, go and run the mechanics. The NPCs literally go where the mechanic is safe at. An hour? Okay, buddy. Wiping with my NPC part on the first boss, and the force closed the game mid-fight. His game force closed? The fuck? On the second one, out of sheer frustration. Never before have I literally dreaded seeing a dungeon pop up into MSQ the way I have in Dawntrail. But each one has gone progressive, more frustrating. I mean, none of the MSQ dungeons were really that frustrating. Was there really an MSQ dungeon that frustrating? Like, really? I'm not including post Dawntrail. I'm not including the post dungeons because those are they optional? Yeah, they're optional. I'm only including the MSQ dungeons because those are included in the story, but the post dungeons are optional, I believe. You don't have to unlock them, but it's optional. I, like many others, I imagine, play the game primarily to enjoy the story. And while Dawntrail's story hasn't been my favorites, I can see why everyone is not liking the Dawntrail in this kid, because this is the beginning of a new arc. Endwalker was the end of the 10-story journey. It was the end of the Highland Zodiac saga, so Dawntrail is the beginning of a new story. And the devs I don't think the devs I don't think they know where they're heading, at least, where they're heading after Dawntrail. Like I said, this is the beginning of a new story, so I wonder what 10 years is gonna look like after 10 years from now, what the game's gonna look like. Oh boy. Okay. I found myself questioning whether it's worth completing at this point. I'm admitted an older gamer. My days of hardcore mythic savage raiding are behind me, in part of because I recognize that I just can't keep up with the pacing of fight mechanic. Okay, buddy. There's a lot of things wrong with this comment. There's a lot of things wrong with this comment he just said. You're basically saying you used to be a savage hardcore raider, now you're saying the dungeons are too hard now? Like, okay, you're just lying at that point. You can't say that you used to be a hardcore savage raider and then all of a sudden, now, like, in Dawntrail, the dungeons are too hard for you. That's not how it works. I'm completely capable of learning, and behind dungeons for that kind of difficult punishes the rest of us. Okay. I have zero interest in playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring, but it feels like that's the direction the devs are pushing with these new dungeons. No, it does not. This has nothing to do with Dark Souls. The difficulty is not like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. It's not that hard. I mean, if you're doing a dungeon for the first time, of course it's gonna be hard because you don't know the mechanics. when you go into a dungeon for the first time, you don't expect to know all the mechanics because you're going in for your first time. This guy's saying it's freaking Elden Ring's difficulty. Like, no, it's not. It's really not that hard. The dungeons are pretty quick to learn. The mechanics. They're pretty easy to learn the mechanics, actually. There's patterns there and there, but they're not extremely hard to forget. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm completely capable of learning. Okay, that's... And while I recognize there's a portion of the player base that wants that, locking MSQ behind dungeons with that kind of difficulty pushes the rest of this. Yeah, the MSQ dungeons aren't that hard. It's really not. It's story dungeons. It's part of the story. It ain't gonna be that hard. You want harder dungeons? Go on expert. There's a reason it's called expert dungeons. It's supposed to be, well, it's technically supposed to be harder than the MSQ dungeons, but they're not as hard as you think it'd be. You wanna go a hard dungeon? Go on Extreme. Go to, what was I saying? Expert dungeon. Go to expert dungeon. That's where the hard, well, quote unquote hard dungeons are at. I bet you do the soul instances on very easy mode. Oh my gosh. 19 likes. Holy crap. I do the normal actually, but thanks for your non-constructive response. Oh my goodness. Okay, buddy, that's it. Let me read this real quick. Agreed on every point. I am the same way. It is not too difficult, but the way they want me to learn is extremely frustrating and unenjoyable. They could have done a much better job. As well, there is no reason to lock themselves behind one difficult setting. Why not just have a story mode as well? Why not offer extreme or hard right away for those who want it? They are creating all of this discourse over difficulty for no reason. They could have everyone happy at once, and they literally choose not to be believing they have one difficulty for all. Oh my gosh. If you're having trouble with the dungeons, there's a thing called trust system, seriously. And besides, the ended dungeon was not that hard. It really wasn't. Maybe on your first run, maybe on your first blind playthrough, it was hard, but because it's your first time. But I think after my second or third attempt doing the dungeon, it was pretty easy. Like, all the mechanics are pretty easy once you get the hang of it. But who the fuck? Who's putting this? Like, really? Oh my gosh. Let me see. Get good does not always work and does not have a response in all cases. Oh my god. There are literally past mechanics from older expansions I continue to have problems with even after encountering after at least 20 times. I don't foresee practice making any difference on these. There are some examples example mechanics, I will never be able to get good at. Yeah, that's true. Everyone has that one mechanic they always mess up at. I don't blame them. But saying it's too hard, yeah, it's not that much harder. Like, but there's a difference between casual players and hardcore players, dude. The near read fight with the black and white blocks. I mean, the near was kind of, I wouldn't say it's hard. Zodiac, I showed the clips from Walker. Yeah, okay. I mean, there are some mechanics I can't master in Walker, but yeah. Especially Instinger. Instinger was probably. Would you say Instinger was kind of hard? Like, I thought it was pretty hard. I mean, when I first did it, even to this day, when I get it, when I get Instinger and roulette, I still don't master all the mechanics, right? Some people forget what mechanic is what. Tower of Zops. Ain't that hard. Tower of Zops pretty easy, honestly. I mean, it took me a while to get used to that dungeon. I'm still beating my head against Vanguard. If he's talking about the first boss with all the AoEs on the ground, I swear to God. That trust members run out of an AoE at the last possible second, which will squash you. Okay, I haven't done trust since Shadowbringers, so I don't know if they improved the NPCs on the trust dungeons or not. I kind of stopped doing trust. I haven't done trust since like Shadowbringers. Just because I wanted to see how it is, like when it was like new. After that, I kind of stopped doing it. Trust members will run out an AoE at the last possible second, which will squash you if you're a step behind or haven't gotten past the second boss before getting booted from the instance. And they're programmed to screw up and just eat the head in multiple places, so sitting on top of one just kills you immediately. No, they don't, do they? No, they don't. They're programmed to go to the safe location during a mechanic. Because I followed them a few times and I'm always in the safe zone. They've not been programmed to screw up. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Most of these comments are pretty much trolls at this point. I mean, I did do a couple Endwalker ones. I do a couple Endwalker trust dungeons like a while back. And even then, they weren't screwing up the mechanics. They were even in the AoEs. They were like every time there was a mechanic going on, they were always in the safe zone. They would run to the safe zone. They have never. I don't think they never screwed up an AoE. I don't know what this guy's even talking about. Let me see. The first boss is pretty easy. For the Alexander dungeon, it's really easy. Like, if it's a donut on the lasers on the donuts, so you'll be random lasers that will spawn either a donut or a cross throughout the floor. If it's a donut, you go inside the circle. If it's a cross, you go on the corners of that cross to avoid getting hit. You go to the closest, well, not the closest, the furthest actually. The way I do it is if you see a cross, if you see a cross on the floor, you go on the corner, or kind of not directly on, well, not directly in front of it, but like on the corners of it, to avoid getting hit. But as close as you can to the donut before the laser hits the floor. It's really not that hard. I mean, I messed up a lot. Dude, my first encounter doing that dungeon boss, I messed up a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I got killed by that mechanic like a lot of times on my first try. But then I figured out the pattern on my second or my third attempt doing that dungeon. If worst comes to worst, you can also do suffice on a tank. I haven't done a tank yet since Dawntrail came out. I've been using Pit Dimension and Viper. Well, I just got my Viper to 100 like last week, but my Pit Dimension is like 97, so I'll see how that is. I haven't touched a tank since Dawntrail Early Access came out. What the fuck? I notice. Hold the fuck up. How do you put these sort of threads really? I'm not gonna say that on stream, but okay, me off because 9 out of 10 times Square Enix listens to them. I mean, Square Enix does listen to the player base. I mean, for some reason, the JP player base was complaining about Viper, apparently. And they took that feedback, apparently. I mean, Square Enix does listen to our feedback, so sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It just depends what happens. Depends what changes, what doesn't change. The gap between MSQ dungeon difficulty to add Savage has gotten wider and wider over this expansion. There need to be a more consistent rise in difficulty as you progress through the game, and the only time lower dungeons should be nerfed is when the next expansion comes out. Buddy. You don't need, nothing needs to get nerfed. Well, dungeon wise, nothing gets nerfed. I'm not a savage or a stream player as much as such, but I do like to dabble or challenge myself at them every so often. Nerfing them just makes the in-game content harder as it's more of a shock to the system you're using. I don't run Savage or Extreme as much. The last Savage thing I ran was like Eden. I ran the Eden stuff in Savage. That was like a long time ago. I haven't done the Endwalker ones yet. No idea when I'm gonna do that for a fact. I work so I can shop tomorrow. Use trust. Get good. You don't need to do this content. Facts. Thank God someone said it. I was hoping someone would put that. Use trust. Just get good. Literally, the NPCs are programmed to follow every safe mechanic. I know this because I ran a couple of Endwalker dungeons back in 7.x, but they literally are programmed to help you. They're programmed literally to help you learn the mechanics. You know what kind of players will dominate this game if this trend continues? I've seen many again experiencing this. Many again okay. It's simple. More grinding and unforgiving mechanism. Get good. Please. However players play the game is none of your business. True. Just get good. Just run trash. We'll get better with the mechanics. I promise you. It actually helps, believe it or not. The first boss ain't that hard. This guy's an idiot. Oh my god. I think the chance of failure in the dungeon is good and healthy. I think no matter what, there are going to be people who find the content too easy, and people who find the content too difficult. Maybe there could be an echo option added for trust. Like an old high content, you can make all the NPCs do the mechanics correctly. They already do that in dungeons. I can make all the NPCs do the mechanics correctly in both the players' HP damage healing. They could even limit this to the first playthrough and have it as an option after you die. Encouraging people to tackle with the normal difficulty, waiting for more drops. Okay, first of all, if you don't want to do the high-end content, you don't have to do it. Like, raids and shit, they're optional. Raids are optional. They're not forcing you to play raids. Yeah. Normal raids, extreme trials, savage, those are all just optional content. You don't have to do them. Jesus Christ. I remember when I was doing, was it 97? What was it called? I was running the Vanguard dungeon, and is the first mini boss or the second main boss where there was a lot of AoEs on the floor? Well, that happened, and we kept getting wiped because the healer kept dying, like, by the same AoE mechanic, basically. It was like, we were wiped like 3 or 4 times, actually probably more than that, but we were wiped so many times that we had to disband the group. even though we explained to him to go in the corners. Apparently, the corners is the safest place to be during the AoE mechanic. Which is a fact, actually. I tested it out. Tower of Zots. I'm gonna ignore that comment. Awesome. I'm admittedly an old gamer. My days of oh god, I already know where this is going. It seems like the issue here is you're assuming that the split second AoE flashes here are meant to be dodged with hardcore gamer Twitch react skills when they are not at all. When you see a split second AoE in your flash like boss 1 Alexandria, you should take it as a sign that there is something else. That just something else you're supposed to be paying attention to tell you where to go. Because any occasions like that are always just meant as to show you where the range of the attack is in case you get hit. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it's hard when you're first doing it, but it ain't that difficult. It's not that hard as Elden Ring or freaking Dark Souls. Difficultly hard. Good God. People are dumb. They can't be serious about these comments. Warrior level 100. What servers in? Hyperion. Oh my gosh. Play with NPCs listened. As a player who loves high-end content, the new Dawntrail dungeons have been enjoyable and engaging. I love all the Dawntrail dungeons. Well, yeah. Well, I love a few of them. I think they did a good job with the MSQ dungeons at least. In the post. The 2 post dungeons they've added. I think they did a good job with all the dungeons. Oh, thank God, someone said it. Thank God. I don't feel like the Elden Ring and Dark Souls comparison is a for current. Yeah, it's not a good example. I knew he's. I'm actually glad he pointed this out because we can't not compare Dawntrail dungeons to Elden Ring or Dark Souls because they have nothing in common. From where I'm sitting, as someone who wears many hats and tries as many genres as possible, Final Fantasy XIV's current dungeons are still easy. Sure, I died in a few dungeons with her. Then after the first bit, I learned the mechanics and proceeded to not do the thing that got me killed. Thank God he said it. Oh my God. That's literally what I did. Like I died once, and then I learned the mechanics a few times. And now I'm getting used to the mechanics and avoid death. Something this guy should do, or this Makoto should do. I kind of failed to see how the dungeon category called expert should be entry level casual. Oh my God. Okay. Do you not know what expert is? Oh my gosh, dude. Entry level casual. It's not supposed to be casual. I mean, what? Okay. Should would we call expert content casual? Because, like, really, I don't think calling expert should be casual, actually. I mean, it can be. I mean, it's optional. It's literally optional. Actually, you don't have to do it. It's literally in the data roulette. It's in the roulette for a reason. You're not forced to do the experts. I kind of failed to see how they're going to go. What is this guy talking about? I agree, there should be more difficult content, but it should be placed outside the story and expert. Again, we've already had that. We already have more difficult content outside the MSQ, but I'm glad he pointed this out. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of the expert dungeons are hard, some of them, but they're not like savage or extreme difficulty. And into things like Variant, which promised this difficulty, but ultimately didn't deliver. Yeah, Variant wasn't really that. I don't think Variant was that hard, actually. The various primal fights were called hard mode, but they were easy. Some with the hard mode dungeon were more mostly with rehashes of the original dungeons. Okay, hard is not. So the hard trials aren't actually hard. That's the stream. The extreme trials are actually challenging. If you don't know the mechanics, if you're going blind. Firstly, as a long time Soul One player, I have to agree. No, I cannot agree with this. No. You cannot compare MSQ dungeons, Dawntrail dungeons. You cannot compare that to Souls games. That's not a good example. Why is everyone comparing it to Dark Souls and Elden Ring? It's not that much of a difficulty. It ain't that level of hard, to be honest. There's literally nothing in FF14 that comes remotely close to what kind of difficult until you start getting into Savage rating. Oh, you're talking about the Savage rating. And even the challenges are vastly different due to the nature of single player versus team based games. Is that true? He's comparing Savage with the Dark Souls and with the Souls type games. I don't think it's that. I mean, I wouldn't compare a Souls type game into a Savage difficulty raid. What the hell? I hope he's strong. Oh my gosh, dude. I hope he's joking. I don't think comparing an MMO to a Souls game is a good comparison. That's not a good comparison at all. That's the worst comparison I've heard in a while. I feel like calling the new dungeons Souls-like horror game is a bit distinguished. Oh my god. Did you know the NPCs are programmed to help you with the mechanics? I don't think they know that because they literally. That's one of the reasons why the trust system was created. Difficulty in this expansion has been fantastic. I want to see more of the game, or even harder dungeons. It's about time B3 was put like they should know how mechanics work. Yeah, I agree with this one too. I did notice the difficulty increase. I did notice the difficulty increase between Endwalker and Dawntrail. I did notice it. I mean, they did say. I know in 6.0 they did say they want to make dungeons or content harder in Dawntrail. I do remember seeing an article about that before Dawntrail was even announced. Might have been a little bit after Dawntrail was announced before, I don't remember, but I do remember seeing an article that they want to start making harder dungeon content when 7.0 is released. I do remember hearing about this in the article. Okay, thank God this guy agreed. This person agreed to this comment. Good. We do need more harder dungeons so people know what mechanics to do, or they need to follow the mechanics more. Hello. Lady of 75 here. 27 MMO years under her belt with over 3,000 hours in the game. This was too much for me this run, and I still love the hunts. Yeah, if you're a casual player, just do hunts and fairies. I mean, you can do dungeons, just don't do the aspirates at least. If you think it's too hot, don't do aspirates. Stay away from the roulettes if you're having trouble with dungeons. I'm 30 pounds from I'm like 5 years younger than you, and I had no problem following mechanics or doing the harder content. Define hard content, please. When I think of hard content, I mean like Savage or Extreme Trials, or like Savage Ultimate. That's my definition of hard content. Warcraft's failure. Okay, I'm already seeing World of Warcraft comments. Wonderful. I didn't play that much with WoW. don't think comparing WoW to this is a good idea. Your average WoW comment. As an anti-WoW player from launch for 8+ years, I heard the previous well. Toxic is a mild way to describe. Yeah, that's what I've heard from WoW. I heard the player base from WoW is like very toxic. But if you go to Ffxiv chain, you have warm welcome. I mean, I'm into like 1 or 2, maybe 2 toxic players in Ffxiv chain. But it's very rare you'll run into a toxic player. Because like 99.9% of the player base is very friendly. It's not like WoW. WoW is toxic, what I've heard, because I've had a couple of friends who came from WoW to play 14. And they said, yeah, it's very toxic apparently. Which I'm actually glad I didn't stick to WoW. I mean, I played for like 9 a day. I played it not even for a full day because I had a trial. I didn't even feel the reason to play WoW. I wasn't feeling it. Back then I was still playing 14 for like maybe not even a year, actually. Oh my gosh. If you struggle with some mechs, just stop attacking and focus on dodging. It's anything but too hard. I don't really do that. I want to just focus on dodging because I do the opposites. I do damage and dodge. I don't think just dodging is a good idea. It will just take longer to kill the boss. One of the best things about it is but I guess Warcraft's failure has brought in another WoW. Just the same WoW comment. This guy run your job on a striking dummy. I will never understand why people feel entitled to being a burden on others playing jobs. I mean, it's really not that hard to learn your rotation anymore. Really not that hard. Except the thing is, you don't have to keep all the stuff in mind for the end of the boss. That's literally the whole entire mini boss. Donuts on 4, crosses on 4. Get inside the donut. Go in the corners of the crosses and then to avoid getting hit. It's pretty easy. He does that through the entire encounter. And it's pretty easy. Once you get used to it, at least. Okay, bro, by level 100, you should be an experienced player, and you should expect a lot of mechanics to be thrown at you for level 100. I'm saying from people in Dawntrail Dungeon is that at level 100, they still haven't grasped that for most mechanics. I've been playing this game for 7 years. I pretty much know what mechanic gets thrown at what at this point. I've been playing since Stormblood. So I've been playing for like almost 8 years, basically. 7 years actually. But yeah, by level 100, you should expect what mechanic gets donated. You'll see some old mechanics. You're expected to see old mechanics too. So there's that. Because I noticed some old mechanics that I remembered from other expansions. It's like they mixed all the old mechanics from past expansions and just put it together into the new expansion. Basically. I mean, some mechanics you can like skip some of the mechanics. There's a way to cheese most of the mechanics. Why would anyone want to nerf any kind of content or the lower difficulty at least? Christ, please do not nerf these or lower the difficulty going forward. Yeah, we need more harder stuff. I'm actually enjoying the hard stuff, the harder content at least. Well, I wouldn't say it's hard. If you learned it more and just learn the mechanics, you'll eventually get used to it. You know, it won't be as hard content. Yeah, don't nerf any. Please do not nerf any kind of difficulty, because I'm kind of enjoying the harder, like, difficulty dungeons at least. Even though it's not that hard. I mean, really, it's not. The cactus boss in Tender Valley. Oh my god, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, some with massive social. Hold the fuck out of here. Thank you, someone brought it up, dude. I've been seeing a lot of dude support and trust comments, because it's true. See, it's not. See, the program to follow the mechanic, it's not even a question. Doesn't do support exist for every piece of story content in this game? You can do the entire thing with NPC partners now, who can also usually show the perfect way to resolve mechanics. Yes, they do. They solve every small piece of the mechanics. They're not programmed to screw it up once or twice. They're literally programmed to fall to the save point so you won't get hit by the mechanic. They're programmed to help you not get you killed and wipe like 5 or 6 times. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not programmed to be stuck in a dungeon for an hour, at least. Thank God someone brought that up. I was waiting for someone to bring that up, the dude support and the trust system, because that's literally a helpful system. They brought that up. Wish they brought that up earlier. I'm surprised no one brought that up earlier. I do a lot of those posts advocating for card content. Second Dawntrail dungeon, Dawntrail. Which one's the second dungeon? Just got to the second dungeon, Dawntrail, and can get past the first boss. Died 5 times. And quit, I guess. I guess Long Ways of Fortune just isn't for me anymore. I hope they go back to give me an easier option. Then one day I can come back to the game. At least I have Guild Wars 2 next month to look forward to. Is this guy really gonna quit FF Fortune just to play Guild Wars 2? And he's saying he wants an easy option? There's no easy option for any dungeons, but they're not gonna do that. They wouldn't add an easy option for dungeons. I don't think that would work. It's fairly easy. Yes, it is. It's very easy, actually, if you learn. Buddy. It's really not that hard. All the MSQ dungeons are really not that hard. Let's see more comments. I'm probably do like a few more comments. The replies are probably like snip. Oh my god, oh my god. Good mother of God. Have you considered that it's not that the fight is too hard? You just have to figure out the gimmick is there's nothing new. Yeah, he's right. There's nothing new about the mechanics because they're technically old mechanics from past expansions, so I wouldn't say it's new. It's not the tether mechanic. Oh yeah, that one's the tether mechanic. I know what he's talking about. Yeah, I think the new tether mechanic is pretty new. I think. Change the order. There you go off. Change the order of the area you go off. Didn't they start doing that in Endwalker? Might be wrong. Don't just try to brute force stuff on them all and get it. Ask your power or watch where your trust is done. Yeah, the way I do it, if I'm stuck on a dungeon and I don't know the mechanics, I usually just run trust. That way I can learn the mechanics. That way I know what to mess up on. Yeah, the trust system is a reliable system, honestly. They are programmed to help you what mechanic to not fuck up on, basically. I mean, you can't pull as much because they're not programmed to do a lot of damage, basically. It might take long. It might take you a lot longer than playing with normal players, but you'll at least learn the mechanics, right? Oh my gosh, okay. Everyone's complaining about harder content. I'm pretty sure a lot of these comments are from casuals. I mean, some of these comments I can tell they're hardcore. Oh my gosh. Aren't you the same Strider who makes every savage party finder blacklist because he can never do a mechanic correctly and constant causes enrage wipes. Pretty ironic to read this LMFAO. Oh my god. The same. Oh my god. Imagine blacklist everyone because you fucked up all the mechanics basically. Oh my goodness. I agree with the poster above me. Okay. There's no new mechanics. I was like one. I have no mechanics that enter the story. Why would it just spawn above that core damage taken? My days of hardcore, mythic, and savage rating are behind me. I mean, this guy kind of lied, saying he did do savage or hardcore way back when. Because he wouldn't be typing that if he did. If he wasn't complaining about the hard difficulty, he wouldn't be complaining about this. He wouldn't have brought that up. That kind of gave it away that he clearly has not done savage or hardcore. Whatever it's called in WoW. Because hardcore myth, that sounds like WoW. Unsynced ARR primals. Oh my god. May I suggest you spend time you use on writing up this fairy tale on looking at dungeon bosses instead? You will fare much better. A fairy tale. Yeah, it's basically a fairy tale he just made up because he clearly has not done savage or any extreme trials. That is so funny that he brought that up. Oh my god. With the content being expert level dungeon, I expect level of difficulty to. I like the new difficulty that they increase. I did notice a lot that the dungeons feel a little harder, but not like crazy extreme savage hard, at least. I've been playing since Stormblood. I noticed each expansion they did try to make the dungeons a little more challenging than the last expansion. I didn't play since I played from Stormblood. I didn't start in 1.0, but I did know the difference between the expansions. That the difficulty of dungeons increased at least. Not so much on AR and Heavensward, but like going from Stormblood to Shadowbringer, I can notice a little difficulty increase on dungeons. Wasn't really a big fan of the raids on Stormblood. Wasn't really a big fan of some of the MSQ dungeons. I did not like They're not hard, they're just kind of boring, at least. But I never liked the MSQ for Stormblood. You know what it is. I think everyone can agree that Stormblood MSQ wasn't that interesting either. Okay, let me see. During the MSQ, only was the hell's this guy capping on? If you're struggling, then I don't suggest going with trust and all responsibilities on you. Just queue up on DPS and get carried through. They don't carry you. They can barely do any kind of DPS in the dungeons. The only real DPS in the trust dungeons is you. They're not known to do combos. And the trust is not. Oh. They're not known to do combos in trust dungeons. I mean, you can do combos, but the NPCs, they do not do combos or any kind of rotation. It's like they're doing the same, they're clicking the same button over and over. It's like they're clicking 1, 1, 2, 2, and back to 1 over and over. Do they even do AoE? I don't think they even do AoEs because I never noticed they did. I used trust a few times and they can be cool. Now they can just res me like a real healer if I goof off and be in biz. They don't res, I noticed. Wait, do they res? I don't know, dude. I never actually. I don't know, dude. In Endwalker, I did like a few of the MSQ dungeons through trust. And I didn't really die because I followed with the NPCs during every fight. So I can't say I died. I just wish you could pull more as a tank, at least. I don't think, can you pull more with the tank? I don't know. Obviously with warrior, because, well, it's warrior, but I never actually tested it out outside of warrior. Beings, they said mythic. I don't know why they brought up World of Warcraft comments in the Final Fantasy 14 forums. I'm almost certain they meant WoW. Just because they haven't done Savage in FF14 doesn't mean they didn't used to do it. Do not listen to this, Square. The only difficulty is breathing like back in the mundane. I do like the new difficulty at least. I always won with NPCs first time through for story immersion. I do the opposite. I just queue in. I queue up. I don't really do trust do my first MSQ playthrough. The only time I did it was when shot during 5.S during Shadowbringers, and that was like the first couple of dungeons. After that, I did not do trust. And I did a couple of MSQ dungeons through Endwalker with trust, like the first two. And that was it. Because the queues were so awful. Early access and walker. The queues were awful. Player queues and dungeon queues were awful, actually. That's why I queued in with this trust, because it took so long. One, Reaper was out, which is was a new DPS at the time, and we know how long DPS takes to queue into dungeons at this point. So yeah, that was a red flag right there. I don't think they'll ever improve the trust dungeon or the trust NPCs. If they did, I'll be surprised if they improved it. Yeah, I agree with it. It's new content. It's supposed to be a little harder, and once you have synced gear, material and other players who know dungeon, it becomes very easy. Yes, it does. New content's supposed to be hard, and that's yeah, it's supposed to be hard. But if you have people who know what they're doing, and you know the mechanics right, it's not as hard. It's really not that hard, actually. Sure, there goes to be a point where the game increases in difficulty even for casual players. Now I said there could be a middle ground. Give me an echo after Ffxiv. It is not that hard. I thought these comments were just trolling at this point. My brother and Heidelin normal mode dungeons are destroying mode. It's why streaming savages exist, because Square Enix does not expect everyone to be able to do streamer savage. Exactly. I'm one of those people because I haven't done savage or well, I did stream like 2 expansions ago. I did savages 2 expansions ago, so I'll do savages or streams. I can find a party finder with people or my free company. I only do extreme or savages with my own free company. I rather trust them than going to party finder, at least. Jesus Christ. Dawntrail is not that hard. Hey, cheese. I'm just reading forums. Reading forums right now. Because people are complaining that the Dawntrail and MSQ dungeons are actually hard when they're not. Oh my gosh, how many people are just... Why are you playing with that much pain? That's the other pain. Holy crap. Now I don't play with over 200 ping, but that sounds frustrating. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. He's just mentioned since Stormblood happened with the difficulty. I was just talking about that. They have been raising the difficulty since Stormblood. Not so much between ARR and Heavensward, but I've noticed a increase of difficulty starting from Stormblood. It's very noticeable. I was just talking about that. Shamburgs wasn't really that much. I mean, it was barely a difficulty increase with dungeons. Raid content, yes. I'll say that streams are higher than the first two streams in Endwalker. Yeah, I haven't touched that streams yet. I want to touch that streams eventually. Endwalker. Highland was annoying. Well, no, Zodiac was annoying, but Highland's pretty easy. Because I've done Highland before, back when it was kind of current. Well, I didn't do the Highland one until like 6 point, like part 1 of the finale of the MSQ. So like 6.4 ish. But even then, it was still pretty easy. Zodiac is annoying. I didn't like the Zodiac one. I haven't done the Zodiac one, but I hate the freaking platform rotation thing. Highland wasn't that bad. Highland is not that bad at all, actually. I'm not including the post 7.0 stuff, like everything after 7.0 or the trials after 7.0. I'm not including those, but I haven't done those in a stream yet. Alright. Subrank Unlocker. How do you know they didn't unsub rank Endwalker, or would have unsubbed Dawntrail was the same as Endwalker in this regard? I feel like people are just trolling really, really hard in the forums. Why is this being brought up multiple times? Aren't you the same Serd who makes every Savage Party Finder blacklist? Oh my god. Aren't you the same Serd who makes every Savage Party Finder blacklist you because you can never do a mechanic correctly and causes enrage wipes? Ironic to read this. Imagine getting blacklisted. Imagine getting blacklisted from every party finder. Oh my god. This guy right here. Imagine getting blacklisted from every party finder in the game. Oh my god. How do you get blacklisted? This has gotta be a troll. This has gotta be a troll right here. Oh my god. You cannot say you have been blacklisted by every party finder. It's not possible. Oh my gosh. Like I feel like he's trolling at that point. At that point, you gotta be trolling at this point. Yeah, people don't even know him. And what server is he in? Oh, let me see. He's in Odin. I don't know what server he's in. What server is he in? Fuck, I can't see it. Or Nori. I wish I can see what server he's in. I don't know what is Odin in a. I don't even know what server Odin is in. Oh my god. You can't blacklist everyone. This came out like not that long ago. All I'm gonna say is that people think, well, Guild Wars 2 will cater. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm seeing WoW comments and Guild Wars comments. Oh boy. There's too many Guild Wars and World of Warcraft comments in the forums. It's ridiculous. Good God. Out of all things I expected to see in this thread, I did not expect someone to be as delusional as to compare Alexandra to Ultimates. They're not comparing anything to Ultimates. They're not comparable. That's the point. If you stuck to the game, stuck? Is he even typing it right? If you stuck to the game because of ultimate content, okay, I say he was talking like stick to the game. If you stick to the game because of ultimate content, Alexandra will not interest for any length of time. You are much better than most players for that to be feasible. Oh my gosh. I was like, why are we comparing 4-player content to a ultimate 8-player content? If all it takes is an option and do support, I'd say that's the point. They paid for your Apica. After buying an entire expansion, question mark? Where do you think all those people who are 24/7 AFK on Limsa come from? Oh my god. That's a lot of people, man. Where do you think the AFK Limsa players come from? Accessible is exactly what I'm asking for. Just have an option to trivialize dungeons that are necessary to fun. Take that bot and bam. People who are casual to the game can clear this first try one. It ain't that okay. You're acting like this is a 4-player savage dungeon at this point. Are you serious or just trolling? He's trolling. If he's serious about that, I'm very disappointed in that. Bro, I've been seeing this on the forums like 50 times. If this was in my Discord server like 50 times, you would all be banned. I work so I can shop tomorrow. Oh my gosh. If all it takes is an option in the do support, comma, he didn't finish his sentence, but that's not how the game development works. You can't just say just do this with having no knowledge of what goes into the game. Yeah, nothing just happens in Magic. This ain't Magic, dude. You can expect things to be done right away, but this dude was clearly on some serious crack when he was typing this. You can't just say, oh, I'll do this in one try and finish it. I'm trying to figure out why are they comparing an MMO to a Souls game. I have zero interest in playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring, but it feels like that's the direction that they are pushing with these new dungeons. This guy, I'm pretty sure this guy was laughing his ass off when he typed this. Are we seriously comparing Elden Ring and Dark Souls to an MMO? Or a 4-player dungeon, at least? Right now, people don't even take me serious. Yeah, I can't take any of this seriously. I feel like he was drunk and typing random shit on his keyboard. Like, he was drunk at one point, and then he was typing the most stupid shit on his keyboard, and then posting all that. There's no way he was serious about all this. He got bodied. Yeah, dude, he got freaking clapped, dude. And then he went on to raid. Like, you can't be serious. If you saw this in your freaking forums, would you think this is serious? I would not think this would be serious. I would think this is a troll or he was freaking drunk when he was typing his keyboard. There is no way. Not in any universe he was serious about this. There's no way. I have also found the fights in Dawntrail very difficult as a player. How long you been playing? Join date. Okay, they can't really. 2024 July. Okay. Okay, he's level 100 dancer. A lot of these people joined when the freaking suspension got released. Jesus Christ. I like how it says. Let me see. Like, why did it say he joined when the suspension got announced? Oh my god. What is he talking about? Let me find a comment. Hold on. Oh, here it is. I have also found the fights in Dawntrail very difficult as a player with a migraine and vision disability. All these unkind comments and mean players and duties just make a lot of casual and less able players want to give up on the game they love. Sad face emoji. Yeah, since they do make the classes a little bit easier every expansion. They remove some stuff, then they upgrade their old abilities to newer abilities according to that max level. It's not getting harder, it's just making the classes easier. There's nothing harder about using your jobs. Define making classes harder, please. Because they have not gotten harder. Unless you can't read your actions and traits on your game. Like harder rotations. I mean, yeah, harder rotations, that's the, yeah, I mean. Yeah, I don't even use Dragon. Yeah, I use Dragon for a little bit. I don't know what they remove for Dragon. Because I don't use Dragon a lot. I only use Dragon like to level up to max level and stop using Dragon after I got to max level. Jumps are just damage. The only melee DPS I use is Samurai and Viper. Well, for melee DPS I use Samurai and Viper. I don't really use Dragon that much. Sometimes I'll use Monk. Sometimes. If we're talking about melee, I don't use Dragon that much. I think Dragon is like my least used melee. Next to Monk. Because Monk was so boring for me. I got so bored using Monk one time, I just went to the Monk station and bought a book and just skipped the whole thing to 80. Because it feels really boring. At least for me, it was really boring using Monk. I got so bored using that class really quickly. Like my friend, he got his Monk to 90 at the time. And then the whole rotation for Monk is 1, 2, 1, 2. You're doing that for your entire rotation, basically. I like Ninja. Yeah, Ninja's really good. I like Ninja. I gotta see what they did. I gotta see what they did with Ninja. Cause I do like Ninja next to my Samurai. But Monk was probably my least favorite job because how boring the job is. Ninja potencies are a bit low right now. Yeah, they buffed the hell out of Monk, I heard. They increased the potency for Monk for literally everything, basically. Because I saw the patch notes before the 7.01 went live. They buffed the fuck out of Monk. Like, they literally increased all the potencies by 20 or some shit like that. It was crazy. Like, I saw the big list of it, like, holy shit, it's like a... Dude, they literally increased everything, didn't they? I was like, was it that weak or something? Did they need to increase all those potencies? I didn't use Monk since, like, Endwalker, so I don't know what they did with it before Early Access. I don't know what they did with it in 7.0 before all the changes. So when I saw that in the patch, I was like, did they increase the potency or something? They literally increased every single action, didn't they? I don't know if that was a complaint or what, that they wanted Monk to be buffed. Make healers relevant again? Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's worse, the healer strike or this. Oh my god. Bro. I'm gonna read all this. Make healers relevant again. Nerf tank sustain. Increase instances of unavoidable. And for the love of everything that is sacred and holy, please stop trying to give healers more DPS spells. If I wanted to spend all my time mashing DPS spells, I would play DPS. Give me something to heal. Please! All caps. Oh my goodness. There's no... Yo, he's... This guy was clearly part of the healer strike. Good god. If you were truly a Cyrus Raider, you could do these dungeons on autopilot while blasting a payphone on Spotify. Oh my god. There's no way. No freaking shot. Oh my goodness, dude. Payphone by Maroon 5. I'm completely capable of learning and reacting to mechanics. Well, that's a lie. Because you just said that you used to be a hardcore raider and then you got caught lying saying that. Because if you were a hardcore raider, you wouldn't be complaining all about this. You would not be complaining about this if you used to do hardcore Savage content. You would not be complaining about how hard the Dawntrail content is. Literally, all the Dawntrail mechanics are past old mechanics from previous expansions. There's like one new thing they added, I think, but most of them are pretty old mechanics from past expansions. I recognize a lot of them. What if you want to traverse a dungeon? Oh my god, look at it. This guy's trolling. Oh god, look at this one. Look at this one. Just wow. I should just not playing at all if you think the dungeons are too hard. Come on. If you can't beat them, maybe play something else that fits your non-effort style of play. The story is absolute crap most of the time, and the only excitement a good number of us get are when things go hard. Yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna complain, but this is not really a complaint, but I did feel like the MSQ was like mostly filler. It didn't pick up until like 95, 94. Like I felt it didn't pick up until you get to without spoiling it, like the second or third zone. That's when things begin to pick up, at least in my opinion. I mean, the MSQ did feel pretty slow, not gonna lie. But it's the beginning of a new story, like, give him credit. Seriously.